Hello, my friends and fans, and anyone else who watches this. I wanted to make this short little, not really an episode, more like an informational announcement. I'm going to switch formats, and I'll explain why and where it's going. Because so far we've gone through, we did okay up till about Bonk's Adventure doing the scripted style, and we stayed on Bonk's Adventure for a while, and then we picked up a little bit of steam, got to Castlevania 2, sat there for a little while, and then just last month finished up Castlevania 3. So that's how far I've gotten doing my scripted style, the way I've been doing this. And with all the games left to go, I'll be 50 by the time I'm done with all these doing it that way. So I'm going to change things up here. So it's been the scripted style. Everything we're doing up here has been scripted. I play the game. I'll write a script. I'll notate the things I want to say, the points I want to make, some trivial things I want to include, like in Blaster Master, all the differences from the Japanese version to the U.S. You gotta make notes of all that stuff, and I script all out the things I want to say, and mostly in what order. So it's like 95% written, ready to go, what I want to do. And then I'll sit down and I'll record it, and I'll just hit record and let it play for 45 minutes, an hour, however long it takes for me to say everything I want to say. And then I edit it all down, and I take, like every line or every point I want to make, I take like 4 or 5 takes of each of those, and then in editing, I take the one I want to keep. So in the end, scripted style, what happens is I get this hour worth of a video, and I cut everything down to like this 5 or 6 minute video that we end up putting out. Like that's what ends up being the final product out of all this time and effort that's put into it. So what I want to move away from is doing that and just becoming, just being myself. Like right now I'm just wearing what I'm wearing. Didn't even animal. Okay, so I don't have the character's code on. Not that I'm a character when I'm doing all these episodes. I mean, that these are all legitimate in my opinion. They're just in a scripted format. But I think just what I'm gonna do going forward is kind of the let's play style. I've never really been too keen on that phrase, but that's kind of exactly what it is. So I'm just gonna hit record, and I'm just gonna kind of do what I'm doing here. I'm just gonna talk and play and see my reactions in real time. Say anything I want to say. If I say something wrong and stupid, I say something wrong and stupid. That's just the way it is. It adds a much more human element to the episodes and the audience being able to just see me being me, as opposed to me taking the one take I like and giving that out to you. So I think it makes things a little more personal. It makes things a little more entertaining, honestly. Because yesterday I did the Nintendo Switch reaction video and the Nintendo Classic Mini. Is that what it's called? Yeah, the Nintendo Classic Mini thing. I made those 2 videos yesterday, and I just did this format. I just pushed play and just started talking, and I talked for 16 minutes on one, I think 8 minutes on another, and just kind of cut some of the filler out of the ends, and ended up just being a really solid, interesting take. At least I think it was. So it helps the videos be a little more presentable, I think, and it helps me get more content out faster, because all I gotta do is hit record, play a game, talk about it, and then kind of gather the take and the audio and just kind of mix it down into one video. But there won't be hardly how do I word this? See, like that kind of thing is just going to be in the shot, and that's it. There won't be a whole lot of time dedicated to cutting things out and editing things down, so you'll get the most content out of each episode, and I'll do less editing, which means these episodes will be out faster. So it's good for you, it's good for me, it's good for everybody. I think it makes for much more interesting content to watch. So I'm going to try that for a while and see if it feels any better. If it seems like things are going a better direction with that, I'll stick with it. So the next game on tap here is Caveman Games. So that reminds me. One of the things I'm going to be changing also, besides the episode style, is in the beginning, the intro, like the white screen with the logo and the sound effects. I'm gonna cut that off, because it's a waste. It's like 6 or 7 seconds that could be filled with something more interesting. And originally, when I had designed this, I was doing that for like the logo recognition, the brand recognition. Just every episode, I wanted everyone to see that and get associate that image with this channel, with this show. So I think that's gone good enough. I'm tired of seeing it myself, so I'm getting rid of that. I will still keep the logo and stuff for like the end, like the credits probably, but in terms of the intros, I'm getting rid of those, because if you watch 3 or 4 or 5 videos of these in a row, and everyone starts with that same sound effect, that same logo, it just gets boring. It bores even me, you know, and so anyway, so the episodes I'm going to start doing, I'm going to start like this, like I do all the other ones where I show the game, I say the company and the release date, you know, so Caveman Games, Data East, 19, I don't know, 88, 89, doesn't say on here. It's my guess, though, 88 or 89, we'll find out next episode. And I also wanted to mention, doing this style I think is going to help me also because with the scripted style, with the way I've done this all myself. Like, this is just all me. This is a one-man production, pretty much. This is all my games, all my gear. I do all the editing. I wrote the music. I wrote the theme song. I edit it all down. Everything is by me. A lot of shows, a lot of people on YouTube and stuff have crews of people that help them. Editors, designers, and all kinds of stuff. And this is just all me, just doing what I do because I like to do it. The one thing though that was not me, or I got a little help on, was the logo itself. Was actually my cousin helped me out with that because back then, I wasn't even half good at Photoshop, so he helped me out with that, so thank you, Drew. Aside from that, though, everything else has just been me doing what I do. So I think that aspect as well is going to help me with doing like this Let's Play style because I'll get things done fast. And it'll just really help the turnaround time on a lot of these. What else? On top of that, I think having videos in this format is a little more approachable for people. A lot of people are kind of used to seeing this kind of format. So I'm hoping it'll make these videos a little more shareable because people are used to this format and they've seen other people do this kind of thing and they're just used to seeing someone playing games. So I think that's a little more approachable and hopefully shareable. That's one thing I'm really going for here too as well, is to make these a little more shareable, a little more approachable from an audience point of view. So yeah, like, comment, subscribe, share it, get the word out, and we'll see what happens next episode. On top of having these done faster and having things come out faster, what I'm hoping will happen is it'll give me more time to read more comments, respond to more things, because in the past, doing the scripted style, like I said, it took a lot of time. A lot of effort and work went into making these 5 or 6 minute videos, and I put them up online and just walk away. Like, I got stuff to do, I got the next episode to worry about, I'm not even going to look at the comments, I can't do it. I ain't got time, I got things to do. So, hopefully this new style will give me a little more time to kind of interact with comments and responses, be a little more active in terms of making other episodes that aren't just gaming. Like the last 2 episodes I made yesterday, the response to the Switch and the Nintendo Mini. I can do more little, impromptu episodes like that a little easier because I'm not tied under this constraint of having something scripted and taking all the time and effort into editing and producing it and just hoping it turns out right. So everything will kind of be like this going forward. It's just one shot, nothing's cut. It's just me talking and blabbing on and playing games. So we'll see what happens. If you have any comments in terms of you like the style, you don't like the style, you want to see something different, or we'll see basically what happens next episode. So I'm not sure exactly yet how I'm going to handle having the 4x3 game screen inside the 16:9 widescreen. If I'm going to push it completely to the side and have like the live view window here, or kind of put it window in window like a lot of people do. So I'm just kind of wing it for the first episode or two. And so as you see those, if you see something that looks like a better idea or a better setup or format for the screen positioning or anything in general, let me know. If you hate the way the camera's positioned on my face, or you hate the way the audio is mixed, or anything, let me know. Because at this moment, I have like 3 ideas for how I'm going to set this up. One of those includes not even being in this room when I do the playthroughs. So I might not even have this backdrop. I kind of like it. It's iconic in its own right, but one of the ideas I have is not even to be in this room to do it. So whatever comes out of it, let me know if you like it or not, because I do have other options I can try to use and do. But yeah, so that's kind of my announcement. We'll see what happens. Again, the next episode is going to be Caveman Games, and that's where we'll start with this new format, and we'll see how it goes. If it goes well, we'll stick with it. If it doesn't, we'll figure something else out. So hope you enjoy the next episode. Again, like, comment, subscribe, share this with your friends, and we'll see what we get. Actually, hang on. There's a couple more things I wanted to mention. I just finished reviewing the clip you just watched that I just smash cut from. I just finished reviewing that, and I realized there's a couple of things I didn't mention that I wanted to mention. One of those is I want to keep some of the trivial things involved with these episodes. Like in Blaster Master, I mentioned the difference from Japan to US. Castlevania 3, I mentioned the music differences. Some episodes I've mentioned like alternative titles from different regions. Just little kind of interesting facts about games that you wouldn't know from just playing the game, like behind the scenes kind of stuff. Like I want to keep adding those to things, like oh, I didn't know that. You know, I don't want to turn this into like a did you know gaming thing. It's not at all what I want to do here. It's not what I'm doing at all. But I do want to keep some of that interesting information about these games involved. So I will do a little bit of research just to get some ideas of a couple of things I might mention as I'm playing the games, just to keep things interesting and just to keep things interesting. So I'm gonna keep doing that. Maybe not as in depth as I did with like Blaster Master. Like that entire last like 5 minute segment was all about that. It's not probably not gonna get that involved, but I will try to keep finding interesting information to add to these episodes. And speaking of interesting information, I'm gonna keep on telling my personal stories about these games. Like if I come across a game where I had just really good memories, or even bad memories, or any kind of thing I can recall from playing it for the first time, or playing it with friends, or I remember going to the store to rent this or that, and whatever. If I think of anything personal, I'm going to keep adding those too because, you know, selfishly, I'm doing some of this for myself. You know, I'm kind of cataloging the console I grew up on, all the memories and all that good stuff from my childhood. So, you know, I'm going to keep mentioning things that I want to mention. You might not care or even understand what I'm talking about, but I want to keep those for myself. So those will come up from time to time. And the other thing I wanted to mention, this is kind of the most important one I think, is for some of the bigger title games, like Contra coming up soon, and the Mega Man series and Zelda, those all will get complete playthroughs and most likely be scripted as well. That way I can take time, hit all the bullet points I want to hit all the bullet points I want to hit, make sure I don't miss anything, and you know, just give it the attention it would need to cover everything on a game that is on a game or games that are iconic to everybody that has ever heard of them or played them. So, you know, Zelda's going to be a big episode when I get to that because it's probably my favorite game of all time. And the Mega Man series, those should probably all get the attention they deserve. Contra, you know, games like that are still going to get, you know, the works when it comes to being scripted and having all the information involved with them as you can. So I didn't want you to think I'm going to come up to a game that's beloved by the world and I'm just going to kind of skim through it for 15 minutes and be done. They will still get the attention they deserve, and so we'll make big episodes out of those. That was it. I think this is the last time I need to make this announcement. Like I said, I reviewed the clip we just watched, and I realized I didn't mention those things, and those are pretty important for people who are kind of curious what these episodes are going to turn into. So that's kind of some of the facts that are going to go into the future ones. Is I'll keep mentioning some of the trivial things as I can. I'll inject some personal stories where I can, and the bigger games, like I mentioned, will definitely get full playthroughs and most likely the scripted treatment. So that's that. Again, next episode, Caveman Games. So I think that's it this time.